This is my front piece. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew the crotch area. I'll sew this curve by 0.5 inch. I'll stop here. Then for the back, I'll sew the crotch area also to the waist. So I'll be using 0.5 to sew it from here all the way to the waist. I'm joining the right sides facing each other for front and back. This is the back. This is the front. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fix my zip. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shift this. I've ironed this place already, but to sew it, and because it's going to overlap, so for it to overlap properly, I'm going to shift here a little bit, like 0.25, not even up to half an inch. So all the way down, I'll shift it this way, 0.25. Then I'll pin it on my zip. Now I'll go ahead and sew this place where I ironed. After doing that, I'm going to place this over it. Then pin it down on the zip. So I folded this by 2 inches. Then I ironed the edge. I did the same to this side. Before I started sewing, I folded it by 2 inches here, then ironed it. So now I'll go ahead and sew about 0.75. I'll make sure I pick the zipper at the end. Either I use 1 inch for it to pick the zip, either I use 1 inch or 0.75. I prefer to use 0.75. Then I'll sew straight. When I'm about getting to the end here, I'll curve my hand. I'll sew straight and then curve my hand. So this is what it looks like. Remember to overlock your trouser before you start sewing, or if you want to finish sewing before you overlock, it's also fine. So this is the back. This place will be overlocked. Then the zip, I can go ahead and cut the zip to make it shorter. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to sew my darts, the back and the front. After making the darts, I'm going to place the back on the front piece, and I'm going to sew the side. Whatever your side seam allowance is, that is what you will use. So for me, I used 1.5 inches, so I'll just sew 1.5 inches on both sides. Remember, right sides of the fabric facing each other. After sewing the sides, then I'll sew the inside of the trouser. I'll sew it from down here, from the hem, straight into the crotch, then back into the hem. So I'll be using a 0.5 inch to sew this place. This is what my trouser looks like. This is the front, and this is the back. I'm going to run stitches over this place so that it doesn't open. Now I'm going to turn it inside out. I've gone ahead to cut my band. I have a video on how to make skirt band, so that will give you an idea of how I did this band. So the waist of this person is 31.5 inches, and the band, I've cut it 31.5 plus half inch to tidy here, then half inch to tidy here, and 1 inch for overlapping. So that is 1.5 inches here and half inch here. So that is 31.5 plus 2. That is what I used to cut this length. So this side where there is no overlap fabric there, where you have just the teeth of the zip, I'm going to leave 1.5 inches. This is the side I put 1.5 inches. So half inches to tidy the edge of the band, and the remaining 1 inch for overlapping in case you want to adjust the waist later. So I'll start from the inside of the trouser. I'll place it on the band, measure my 1.5 inches and pin it down. I'm going to be sewing this first fold here, so I'll sew it all the way around. Then at the front here, I'm going to have 0.5 inch here to tidy the edge of the band. So where you have the overlap, you have 0.5 inch there. So I'll go ahead and sew 0.5, which is this folded part, all the way around. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold the band this way. Then I'm going to sew a 0.5 inch here at the edge of the band. I'll sew a 0.5 inch here. While here, I'll do the same. I'll fold it over. At the tip of this flap, I'm going to just sew it up here, 0.5 inch. Now I'm going to trim it about 0.25. Also here, I'll trim about 0.25 inch off. Then I'll flip it over. The last thing I'm going to do is to flip it all the way down. I'll flip it down and I'm going to sew on the edge here. I'm going to sew close to the edge here. You can see the 1 inch overlap I was talking about. I'll go ahead and pin it down first. This seam allowance will be inside the band. I'll conceal the seam allowance inside the band. I'll go ahead and sew on the edge all the way around. So all that is needed is to put my hook here. The last thing I'm going to do is to finish my hem. So the hem, I have 1.5 inches at my hem. So I'll fold ½ inch first, then fold 1 inch. So it will be ½ inch by 1 inch. Then I'm going to use my needle and thread to hem it. I don't like seeing stitches here for trouser, so I'll go ahead and use needle and thread to hem it round. I'll do the same for the second side and I'll iron it very well. So this is my final look. I'm going to put hook here. I have a video on how to fix hook, so you can check it out if you don't know how to fix hook. I'm going to fix hook here. This is the back.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please kindly like, share, comment, subscribe if you're new here, and click the notification bell. Thank you.